Hi, everyone. Welcome back to How Love Bites. We're back here today. We have Steve back with us also, our co-host. And my name is Dennis. Say hello, Steve. Steve waved. We're good.
Hello.
And
hello.
Today we're going to be talking about 5 compliments that will get him addicted to you. So I know you're going to want to sit and be glued to your chair for this one because I want to know some of this stuff too. Okay? Now again, this is pretty much a girl's attitude toward a guy, trying to get a guy, although it can be reversed. In with a little massage technique, it can be used the other way around for a guy to use on a girl. So let's get right into it, if you don't mind. So 5 compliments that will get him addicted to you. So, but did you ever wonder what makes some women have men eating out of the palm of their hand? And we know as guys, we are the ones that have eaten out of those hands before. And why we do it and how we end up doing it is kind of a mystery, but maybe we could help solve some of that today. So, in relationships,
a great reveal. It's going to be a great reveal today.
Yes, correct. Something. Yes. Mysteries will be revealed, and we'll probably solve Atlantis too. In part 2. Okay. And why carrots grow like crazy in California. And everybody wants to eat carrots in California instead of the ones in Canada, because the ones in Canada are always bitter. You ever notice? That Canada, when we were in Chicago, man, that was all that cold and clouds and snow. Canada. Anyway, back to business here. Okay, so did you ever notice how relationships in some women seem really lucky enough to always have guys showering them with love and affection, and it's always some women, and it's not every woman. And so you ask yourself, well, why does this happen? Why do some women seem to know how to get inside a man's head in such a way, okay, that makes him want to always be the best possible version of himself around her? And any ideas from anybody out there, Steve? Any ideas why you think that's possible, or why you think that happens?
The show is going to reveal some of it, but I think what you just said was very important. That's one of the key measurements of a good match, right?
It truly is.
If you're making that other person the best person, if you're the best person while you're with that potential mate, that's the number one indicator, I think, that you got a good match. So
I personally, I think, and because I do know a little bit more about it after reading some more of my notes, that I put together, it's because of one thing, and we all enjoy them when they come, and those are compliments.
Yeah.
When we know a compliment is sincere and is coming from somebody's heart, and they're just not saying it because they have an agenda or maybe some other reason for saying or mentioning
not bullshit. We're not saying bullshit. We don't want the bullshit.
If you're good, correct. Yeah. And if you're good, you can read it in their eyes. And when it's BS and when it's not, for sure.
That's right.
So, but the secret of that is compliments. That's how women seem to have a way to know how to compliment a man when the time comes, when the time is right. And guys also do the same thing. And
we probably don't do it.
In a way,
we probably don't do it as well. We probably don't do it as well as the ladies.
Right. Correct.
So the ladies, I think the ladies want affirmation. That's what a compliment is about. They want to be affirmed of who they are, in my opinion.
That's, do we always get that? Do we have a time for, to process it and turn it into an affirmation? Or is it just, sometimes I think in not superficial compliments, but true compliments, compliments that are, again, from the heart. I think they're, you process them and you smile and you go forward. I don't think you got to wrestle with them too much. Just take it as a compliment and go on, but compliments seem to be the secret as to why guys, fall apart in front of some women and maybe hopefully the women fall apart in front of some men too, with the right compliments. But the compliment's got to be right. Because if you're complimenting somebody and you're saying, that dress is like, wow, that's extraordinary. And she just bought it, but she bought it a size too big. They didn't have her size in it. So it didn't fit her correctly, and she was like hemming and hawing if she should even wear it. And here you are complimenting her. She thinks, is this guy blowing smoke, or is
Yeah.
is he kind enough to really give me a compliment? So I think that we could dissect that compliment thing over and over too. Now that I think about it,
and to your point, if you're complimenting the dress, you're really just complimenting something that they bought. If you're complimenting their kindness or their smile or their eyes, you're not complimenting something they bought. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Think,
the compliments can be anything, I think too. So I guess it depends on the moment. Where are you at in the moment? Yep. I don't know.
Yep.
But let's find out. Let's dig a little deeper.
Let's jump into it.
Yeah. So, I personally know what you're thinking. Like, another male dating coach telling us to mindlessly stroke a man's ego because men just always need women to be their cheerleaders, to make them feel better about themselves. I being a guy, I don't personally agree with that, but have I felt that way at times? I guess I have. Will I admit to it in a court of law? Most likely not. But so let me clear this up. I'm not telling you to mindlessly stroke guys' egos. I'm not. As you'll see, that these compliments were just they're kind of like empty flattery in a sense, and you got to either you take them as such or you don't. But every compliment has a meaning and a purpose behind it, and it's sometimes it's beyond just puffing up somebody's image. So maybe the compliments really do have the validity or are made to help validate somebody who's really not feeling well about themselves. Right.
That's right.
But here's the question now: is these compliments are effective rather than just stroking an ego? And sometimes I think if the right compliments come in, they could turn someone. They could turn a guy and make a guy a better person because the right compliments, and the compliments have to be right also to make that happen.
Yeah.
But why did he get seduced by compliments? Why do guys get seduced by compliments? What's the magic? What's the formula? And why is that? I think it's when a woman, well, of course, everybody likes a compliment, guys and girls. So that's no secret. But when a woman gives a man a genuine, thoughtful compliment, the effect of his praise is essentially doubled. So, I mean, there's a wow factor. Wow, you bet. And the reason is men live to serve women. Now, this is also another thing that I don't know if many guys want to go on a court of law and admit to, but men truly enjoy serving women. And they want to serve them in many ways. And
Dennis, this might not be great news to people, but I think to a lot of our audience, it will be big news to them. We admit we're two guys. We're just two regular guys, cops. We've been through a lot of love bites. We've given some love bites. We've received a lot of love bites. The point is the compliment. It's affirmation. And men, we are programmed to pursue these women. We want them. We want to take care of them. I know it's not always popular in society to say, but we are different, right? Men and women are different. If you don't think you're different, you're listening to the wrong show and give up on dating, because we're totally different. We're meant to be together. We're programmed differently. We're meant to pursue them. And a lot of times, in my opinion, and Francis Chan wrote a great book on it, men, they want love and they want respect. So their compliments are going to kind of affirm, their manly role, if you will. And women want love and security. And so the compliments to them are going to be love and, certainly their looks or who they are, but also they want to be made to feel more secure. And that's a big difference. So, I mean, as we get into these examples on compliments, it's not empty. You look nice today, dear, or you look good in that dress. That's not what we're talking about. We're going to talk about how to really get into the core of that guy and why that works so well to hook him in. And I think, tell me if you disagree, but we're just programmed differently. We're programmed to pursue them and to love them. Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
Completely.
Okay.
We're trying to get to the reasons why compliments work, and we're also trying to get back up to the title of this show, which is 5 compliments that will get him addicted to you. So now we're going to start moving into what are those compliments? Do you have any ideas what you think those compliments might be, or just one? And can you just grab one out there? Because I know you haven't seen any of my notes or anything, but on this subject. But
and so this is from
your head?
Is this the man giving the compliment to the lady, or the lady giving the compliment to the man?
A compliment to a woman, and a man and a woman giving it. Give me both examples if you can. Just
being a guy, I'll do the guy one first. The compliment to the man is probably not so much going to be about his physical looks and things like that. I think it's going to be about some of the core qualities. A most meaningful compliment is going to be to what one of the most core qualities of being a man is. So it's going to be about being a man, or about that they're rugged, or that they're a good provider or a hard worker. Those are the things that, it might not be sexy, but that's what's going to resonate with a man, because that's kind of the role we're in. So we're looking for affirmation. I personally, it doesn't matter to me if you think my shirt is great. That's not a compliment to me. A compliment to me would be something about my core character, either my work ethic or my ruggedness. And those are things that tie in. And that's my opinion from a compliment from a woman to a man. An example of what I think would be an effective compliment from a man to a woman. Here, the first one that jumps out to me is something about their inner beauty, their grace. Women are so different from us. They are attractive, and they are the fairer sex, and they are more gentle and subtle. So to me, a great compliment to a woman would be something like, babe, I just love your inner grace. I love how you talk in a calm way. I love how you walk. So it's not just going to be physical looks, is my point. Either way, my opinion.
I understand. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Really. I think you're right in the money with that description of both on both sides. What
would you say? I'm dying to hear what you say. I'll
give you an idea of my notes. The notes that I made after I gave it some thought, and I'd probably say again that men live to serve women, and that is what makes us. I think that's programmed in our DNA from years and years and hundreds of years, maybe going back to the prehistoric times, or if there were such times as prehistoric times. But a lot of guys won't admit that, because that's not manly. It's not a macho thing.
It's not PC. That we're serving it's not anybody, macho.
Yeah. So,
but on this show, we call it. On this show, we call it like it is, and that you're exactly right.
Exactly right. Yeah, and that's what we do.
Men are programmed to serve women.
Men wear cologne because they want to please a woman. They want a woman to smell that fragrance on them, and so they're hoping that that's going to maybe turn her head, or maybe make her smile, or maybe make her want to do more. We don't know, but and so he'll go out as far as to spend money on a new suit, and think, wow, maybe if she sees me in a new suit, wow, look out. And then maybe they'll start a business because they want to show her, look how smart I am. I could just whip into a business and get a business going. And then they'll start running to get into better shape. They work harder than their peers at work, and they try to outperform people and outperform their coworkers. They go out to parties and socialize. And on some level, it's all because of a little voice in their head that says, wait till women get a load of me after this. Look at me, look what I'm capable of, and look what I can do. So
you're saying, Dennis, I think what I'm hearing you say, and I really like and I agree with it, even in the year of our Lord 2022 here, women like those qualities because there's almost a warrior ethos. They want the man, if he's trying to excel at his work or open businesses, you're saying those are turn-ons for women. And therefore, they're also it ties into how you compliment.
I believe so.
Really, it gets back to a core of who we are, even though society's evolved and we wear suits and ties or whatever.
Right.
You're saying there's still a warrior ethos from the man, and there's a female attraction and grace on the woman's side. I like it.
Believe so.
I think that's spot on. I think that is spot on.
I think so. I really do think so.
Yeah.
So, on some level, every man has an element of being a little boy. And boy, if I ever tell
some
that
more
to
than others,
other guys, I mean, I don't think there's something that we as guys show each other, the little boy between us. But that little boy sometimes comes out, and sometimes you don't have any notice. And there he is, and he's out there, and you're thinking, this is not the time you want to come out right now. Okay, I need you to be tough. I need you to look this person in the eye and tell them you're not going to you don't agree with them or whatever it is. But sometimes you can only bury that little boy so deep, and then sometimes he just pops out and wants to come out and say hello. And I notice that a lot and I really think that in a great relationship between two people, between a man and a woman, and when you come to the table and you see someone on the other side of the table that's captured your eye, and you feel that desire, and you're just thinking, wow, man. And I know I always do. I think, what did she look like when she was a kid? I think about, was she, is she one of the neighborhood knockout girls walking down the block?
You want to know all about her. You want to know her history.
Because
she's a mystery.
Yeah.
You're trying to decode her.
You're trying to invest in her, but to invest in her, you want to know more about her. But I think that, it always helps to invest in each other. But that I think that compliments don't necessarily compliment us as mature people as much as it compliments the little child in each of us. Because that little child, and sometimes growing up and developing, maybe you didn't get that when you were a kid. Maybe your parents didn't say, hey, that a boy or that a girl. I think compliments come in through us, but they end up targeting the little person inside of us.
And I think, if I may, I think what you're also saying, which is really important, we all have, what was that book, The Missing Piece? We all have a missing piece. And what you're saying is the compliment is something that you're observing in the other person, and that may be the missing piece for them. They might have had a missing piece from their childhood or what have you. And I think that's spot on. I think that's really spiritual, grabbing stuff. That's way more than you look very nice today,
Yeah.
I like that dress. Those are meaningless. Right.
So, but anyway, so I think those compliments come into the little people inside of us, and those are the ones that really get excited. And that always feels great. They do. Compliments feel great. As long as they're not. Some of us know when the compliments come in, they might be bordering on a little bullshit or a little BS.
Again, the bullshit detector. This is what we specialize in. Don't do it. Don't do it. People smell through it.
Sometimes we're almost so desperate for compliments, we take a little bit of bullshit now and then, So, but. Back to the so women who don't master the art of great compliments are truly at a disadvantage. So, and if they just knew how much compliments mean to another person, in this case, women complimenting men, if they knew the value and the impact that it had on a guy when they just tell him something like, "Wow, I don't know what you're wearing, man, but that's like." It's really good. It smells wonderful, and hey, tell me a little bit more. Are you on your way to an event? Why do you smell so good? Whatever the case. So,
if you're going to use scent, I'm going to give another example. A woman might be turned on by a guy who's working hard, and he's outside working hard, and he's all sweaty, and he smells like his man musk, but the woman may like that. You know what I mean? If she compliments that, that's a big compliment to the man, because it shows him it's an insight into what she's looking for. She's looking for, she likes hardworking ethos there, for sure.
Well, but then you got to consider COVID, because if COVID knocked out your smell and your taste, you're toast. You're in trouble, because there goes the ability to smell those pheromones when they come rolling by, or maybe that super dog, that super hot dog. I mean, I'm talking about the one that they sell over in Milwaukee and Devon back in Chicago. Super dog, very popular hot dog. Yes, it is, Stephen. Yeah.
Portillo's too.
So,
Gene and
so
Juice.
back
Gene
to
and
this
Juice.
is,
Yep.
so when you learn how to compliment a guy, or to compliment a guy in the right way, and understand the purpose behind each compliment, you begin to understand men on a deeper level than most women ever do. Because what some compliments can do to a guy can truly humble him. And sometimes great compliments can be their kryptonite. So we always have to be careful of that. And we all know what our kryptonite is out there. So, I think that this enables you to use like male psychology almost, in a sense, and not using it against men, but just using it with men to support
With
them
men,
and to
for them.
make them better men, make them treat you better, make them want a relationship, make them want.
Well, Dennis, right? The dirty little secret is, you talked about that little child inside, the little boy. Reality is,
I think so. Yeah.
We, as men, we are actually, okay, we're going to admit it. We said there's going to be truth in this show. We can be pretty fragile. We can have pretty fragile egos. And so what you're saying is spot on correct. We don't like to admit that, but on this show, you're going to get truth. And I'm telling you, that the little boy is in there, and there's fragility. So it doesn't mean make up BS, but does mean affirming the strengths that are there. I like it.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
So, it flips, the attraction kind of switches, kind of whenever you feel like it, because sometimes you're paid a compliment, and, you're conditioned to automatically give a compliment back, or think about, geez, now how can I compliment her? And hopefully you're with someone that that's not going to take too much work, because you're just going to give them a cursory look over and go, oh, she's gorgeous. My God, look at those eyes. Look at the sparkle. Look at the dimple. Wow. Yeah. See how often that dimple pops? Sometimes for me, dimples are like Star Wars. I love them.
I agree. Well,
I do. I truly do. So, but it doesn't sound too good to be true that you just throw some compliments around and end up in a relationship. No, it's not. It's true. You can. You'd be surprised what you can develop and what you can start with just some compliments. So, and of course, we got to give the warning, the traditional warning of our show, that, be careful not to try any of our procedures or our advice operating heavy machinery or driving a motor vehicle.
So you're saying love is like a narcotic. We need to be careful.
Yep, it is. Once the oxytocin starts flowing, and the endorphins and the dopamine, and be careful, boy, because you're going on a trip.
It's a legal drug, but you should be careful operating.
That's right, but we can't be responsible for your happiness.
Note to self, yes.
Although if you want to drop us a line and tell us how happy you are because of us, we will take that compliment, because we're guys and we're talking about compliments. So
that's correct.
So that's great. But I think that you could just say something simply, and this is number one: you are such a guy. And a guy would look at that and go, wow, I don't know. Do I ask her what that means, or do I just make it? It sounds like I'm really somebody, or it sounds like I'm someone, because she said, "You're such a guy." Is that
to me, that's a compliment.
Is that a good compliment or a bad compliment?
I would take that as a compliment. We're a guy. We're a guy. We want to be a guy, so we want to be a prototypical guy. So if someone says, "You are a real guy," I'm going to take that as affirmation.
I think unless you did something really, really stupid, like your wash machine broke down and you went to a laundromat and you hardly ever wash clothes, and you think bleach was something you put in with the soap, with the detergent, and then you realize, wow, your stuff looks like tie-dyed from 67.
Wait, hold on, you don't do that?
this one sounds odd at first, but why does telling a guy he's such a guy count as a compliment? It's just a fact, right? I mean, but, well, here's the thing. A guy loves the idea of being associated with being a man. Okay, so when you tell somebody, hey, you're such a guy, that means you're being who you were designed to be. You're a man. Okay, so yeah, correct. Yeah. So I think that's a great thing, and now I can see how that would be construed as a compliment. So if you tell him something, he does something just like a guy, as long as he's in a playful, jocular kind of way, he'll be more attracted to you for knowing that you see him as a man. And also, it has the benefit of making you seem more feminine, because guys are attracted to femininity. I mean, we are. I just never really enjoyed a hardcore kind of woman who wasn't feminine. It just wasn't attractive to me, and that's kind of, I know, well, without going off on our dating tangents, but, women that work out a little bit too excessively, and they, I think that guys should have abs and not women, washboard, kind of. Yeah. Even though you could bounce nickels off of them and stuff, and that's really cool, but I don't know. So something to think about for another show.
Well, we want the opposite. We want to celebrate the differences, right? Vive la différence. So,
that's right.
As the French say. So
that's right.
We want to celebrate those differences, so we want to see the difference. So if we're a man, we want to be a man, and we want the woman to be a woman. It doesn't mean they have to be all lacy and frilly, but we want to celebrate the difference.
That's correct. Yep. That's great. So a good example of how to use a compliment like this would be if you're ordering food and he orders the most meaty, outrageously big meal on the menu. Okay. He goes wild. Give me that 36-pound porterhouse, whatever, 36 ounce. And you can jokingly kind of roll your eyes and say something like, you're such a guy, and based on how he's ordering food. So just some examples of when you could use a compliment like that. You can do it at the movies when he sees a trailer for a superhero movie and starts geeking out about it. He's going like goofy with it, going, and making all these weird sounds. And people are looking at you guys and, oh, my God, or just have fun with it and make sure you don't pose it as a hard criticism. Don't make it sound like, being a guy was a bad thing to him. So it's going to make him rethink being a guy. What did she mean by that? Because if he knows that you meant something really wonderful and nice about it, and it was a compliment, he's taking it home. He's taking it to the bank. You can bank on that. Okay. So, and then we'll come to our second compliment. So now we've got our first compliment, which is the "you are such a guy" compliment. And here's the number 2 that's going to get out there and make them addicted to you. And that is, and I know you and I, Steve, we're going to put our arms around this one, and we're going to go, yeah, baby. Okay. And that is, I really feel safe around you, and I always appreciate that when I'm told that. Actually, when I'm told that by anybody, I feel that is a compliment, and it kind of makes me warm, and it reaffirms who I want to be in life. The peacemaker, the protector. That you do too. We're in the same club.
And it accomplishes another goal, which when they feel safe, then they're going to open up more, and they're going to reveal themselves, which is what we want. So correct. I agree. Yeah, that's a twofer.
So it is a twofer. Yes, sir, it is.
Yep.
So, but and who do you use that on? Who do you use a compliment like that on? I mean, and how often can you use it? Well, I think as often as you feel it appropriate, and that's only something you can decide based on who your guy is. I mean, I don't think it's a compliment that a guy would necessarily give to a woman. Saying, "Oh, baby, I'm around you. I feel real safe. Here, hold my wallet and my 9mm, and because I trust you." Well, maybe the wallet, but the 9mm, that's a stretch. That'd be a stretch. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
But there's two sides to the I feel safe around you would be the compliment from maybe the woman to the man. And then the flip side of that one is because of that, again, the man can say, I feel comfortable. Because of that, I feel comfortable around you. They're more willing to reveal themselves if they know the lady is safe and feels safe.
True. That's true.
So they're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and some women are, and I have noticed this in a little bit of dating that I've done, is that some women do not want you to think that they are like damsels in distress.
Correct.
Or that they need someone to protect them. They need someone to rely on, or the knight on the white horse, or if it's Richard Gere coming out of the limo with the umbrella, with the classical music playing in the background. Some women aren't comfortable with that, revealing their vulnerabilities and stuff. So,
Sure.
I think nothing's 100%. You're gonna
have to read the room, and let's be honest, the ladies are a lot more complex now, and a lot of them, they want it all, and I don't blame them. They want to be treated with respect and know that they're independent and all those sorts of things, but they still want to be treated like a lady in most cases.
No, they do.
If they don't, then it's probably not a good match, But they want and they deserve both. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. The woman could be strong and independent and able to take care of herself, but still like to be protected or with someone and treated like a lady. I don't think those are mutually exclusive.
I personally think, and I know women would also be wondering, like, gee, when do I mention that to him? At like what point? What kind of a scenario would we be in where it would be appropriate to say that to a guy?
Yeah.
I think when maybe just after a kiss. After you guys have kissed each other, and you get your head on his chest, or maybe your head on his shoulder, and you just say to him, just that, I really feel safe around you. I just do. I don't know how to explain it, but I think that nothing can hurt me when I'm around you.
I think those are good ideas for moments to say it, but I'll also say this: as a guy, I'm pretty simple. So I don't know that there's a wrong time to say the compliment. I think it could be there's some special times to say it, but I don't know that there's a wrong time to say it. It could be when you're just taking a walk. Well, it could be early in the relationship.
Right. I don't think there's right or wrong in that, but I think there's maybe one time might be a little bit more appropriate than another.
Sure.
That's
more hard hitting.
So
good point.
So
good point.
But maybe just even when he gives you a hug. And that those arms come around you, and you could feel him because he's holding you tight because he doesn't want to let you go. He never wants to let you go. And guys will reveal themselves by how, and I personally think, how a man hugs you. And I've never said this before to anyone, but I think when you discover how your man or whoever it is that you're with is hugging you, that is a great indicator. And to determine how serious is he by a hug. I know a kiss can reveal certain things and start certain chemicals and a process going that could take 48 hours to culminate, But that hug, I think that hug is equally as important because when the body feels those pressures, when the body feels the pressure and the nerves start sending, the electronic impulses back to the brain, and the brain goes, wow. That feels great, and then here comes the oxytocin and the dopamine and and the endorphins. So a hug is an important thing, and
it could be a 6-inch away hug with your hands on the lady's hips and vice versa. It could be a fully wrapping, enveloping like you were describing.
I'm talking about the full wrap.
It could be the full mount. It could be your pressed together. Right. It could be a powerful one. It could be light. It could be And
because when
different people are going to want different ways.
It's such a great thing when you get that hug just right, and and it isn't like you've got extra arm on one side or you got some overlap or you got some, but when that hug just melds and you become one, at that moment in time by holding them and squeezing
That's right.
them, of
right.
course, comfortably. That moment in time is frozen. You stop the clock, I think, at that time. You stop
To
the
become
clock in
one
your heart.
temporarily.
Your heart skips a beat at that time. And it goes, wow, what was that I just felt? But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on a hug.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But again, the beauty of saying a line like this to a guy is that you're going to make him want to be more of that kind of man, a protective kind of guy around you, because now you're also suggesting to him that you're putting him on the spot, because you're saying, I feel so safe around you. So, mister, you better be on your toes, and you better never let her suffer, and you better take the bullet for her if you love her.
Yeah.
Just don't pretend, because your bullshit's going to be found out, and she's going to see through that.
That's right.
So I think
women are intelligent and insightful, and if you don't understand that, you don't understand women. They can read a lot of things. They're very, generally speaking, intuitive and empathetic.
So I think so. What I'm getting at is just have integrity. Okay, so if she thinks you are that guy, be that guy. Be that guy for her. Be her protector. Mm-hmm. And if you take a bloody nose out of it, or a knock on the chin, so be it. So be her hero. Be her knight in shining armor, because she deserves that. And if you love her, you'll do everything you can to make her happy, because that's how we're wired. We, as we mentioned earlier, we're designed to please the ones we love, and I think there's nothing more attractive in a guy that wants to please the person he's with before himself.
Right.
And I think that's sexually, I think that's physically, whether it's to get the first bite of a sandwich, or maybe the first bite of a piece of pie at dessert. Whatever it is, however you translate it, I think that's real important. And so
Agreed.
Moving on, as we got to get through our 5, right? So this third one is interesting. I feel bad for the other woman here, or let me rephrase that. I feel bad for the other women here because I got you. So, if you tell your guy, or in this case, vice versa, if it's a guy telling a woman the same thing, and you say that, boy, I feel real sorry for all these women over here, because they have no idea who I have my arms around, and who I love and who I adore. And you're not going to have a shot at a guy like this, because you guys are just out there hunting for Lord knows what, with no direction, and I think when you're searching for somebody, you have to have some kind of, you got to have a map, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to put something on a map, on a radar, giving you some ideas and tips and clues and, flags.
It sounds like the key to this one is you're differentiating, you're separating the lady you're with from the pack, which of course is going to make them feel special.
Absolutely.
So that's what that compliment is doing, is you are separating your opposite number from the pack and telling them why they're different. Yep, I like it.
So, and in this case, and this is going to come up too, is like, so when do you use that on someone? Or, who do you use it on? Is that just something for guys to tell girls, or girls to tell guys? And the answer to that question is, you use it on the one you love. That's who you use it on. So if you love someone, that's the line you want to use on them. So, so we're ripping right through these, and that's a powerful compliment. That compliment's got power, man. And it's got to be on somebody special. You can't just get you can't do it.
Makes it feel special, and
that's right.
It's got to be real. Yep,
that's right.
Because they are special. Each one of them is special.
Because most people think that because they're in a relationship with someone, that they don't need to tell them how special they are. And that goes back to taking everything for granted. And that was one of my marriage failures, was taking the last times of the marriage and just taking people for granted, taking the one you love for granted.
We've all been guilty of that in a long-term relationship, so hopefully we live and learn.
Yes,
we got bit by that, and we're going to learn from it.
But I don't want to make that mistake again. I don't.
Exactly.
I want whoever I'm with to know how much I adore them and how much I care about them and what I would do to demonstrate how much I care about them. It isn't just telling them, "Oh, honey, I love you. Can you grab me a soda or grab me a beer out of the refrigerator?" Right. No, just show them. Don't tell me you love me. Show me you love me. Right. So in this case, that's a great compliment, and it's powerful.
That's a good one.
It's got a lot of power. Good one. So so once you're in a relationship, that's the best. The most important time to build up self-esteem for someone, is it's especially when the poor guy's not getting compliments from any other women. So you're going to come in smoking if you compliment some guy. And I'm not saying to deceive him just because you want to know, but maybe you want to know more about him. And maybe just complimenting him will
what you're saying is recognize what's there, because he or she may not be here.
That's right. That's correct. Yes.
So you might be scratching an unfulfilled need there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm curious to see what's the next one. What's
the next one is, and so again, that one's used on special people, and hopefully because it's power, it's love. Okay, you gotta think you may have chances of loving this person in the future.
Yep.
So, number 4, ladies and gentlemen, we're at number 4 already. Okay, that jacket is just too sexy for you. You better take it off. Okay, ladies, stop changing colors immediately. Or maybe you guys went out and put some of that rouge or something that you put on your face. But I can see a lot of women out there are starting to get a little change in color, a little flush by that comment. So let me read it again for the ladies who want to hear it again. Okay. Take that jacket. That jacket is just way too sexy for you. Take it off. I'd take it off if I were you, And so who do you use that on? Oh, boy.
Dennis,
I know you guys are all wondering.
You are smooth. Listen to you.
I am, aren't I? Yeah. And that's the guy that you got to have some sexual chemistry with. You're just not using that on some mojo guy that was, that sold you a newspaper on a corner of, Washington and Clark. Wait a minute, they run the same way? No, they don't. Yeah, okay.
No, you're good. Clark's north south.
Okay, all right. I had to think that one out. I don't want to be called on that, by one of those outfits out there, So, but you better be in a sexual relationship with someone before you use.
Yeah, that's pretty heady stuff. Don't use that willy nilly. Yeah.
Or operating motor vehicle while you're using it. Or
operating heavy equipment.
Right. Got to remember that.
We don't want anybody to get hurt.
Our lawyers told us to always mention that occasionally.
You got to give that
caveat.
Okay, all right.
That's correct. All right. Yeah. So, this one will sound very direct, especially if you're not used to a lot of flirting. Okay. Yeah. So you got to kind of play with that one a little bit, because if you're saying it kind of awkwardly, they're probably going to look at you and go, "What? What does that mean?" Yeah. They're not going to get it. Bottom line. So but it's really gold if you use it the right way. That could open a door that may stay open for the rest of your life, and you may never want to close it. Yeah,
it could open the floodgates.
That's right.
That's a good one.
Because you're not telling him he's sexy, you're telling him the jacket is. See, so there's a little differentiation there. If you play it just right. So you can try variations too, like, "Oh my God," and then pause when he says something like, "What? Well, what?" And you could say, "That scarf you have on is so hot." Okay. And you and I could probably roll with that one and say, well, if you had 3 other ones, we could probably work some kind of a scenario.
Careful, Dennis. Careful.
We may have to cut that spot.
Careful. No, but another example along the
Careful.
same way would be those
Boys, girls,
chaps.
careful.
Those
Careful
chaps.
now.
Those chaps look really hot. That would be.
So let me go back and repeat that. So you could try variations on that, like, oh my God, and then pause. And when he asks what, like what, that
Pregnant
scarf
pause.
you have on is so hot, and flash a smile. Since this compliment is direct, it's good, it's playful, it's got a playful vibe to it when you deliver it, and you got to make sure you got a playful vibe when you deliver these things. You can't be stand there with a real serious look on your face, So that really wouldn't work. Or you can get
That's
real close to them, which is, I know, one of my favorites is that cologne is my favorite on a guy. You played, sir. You played that well. So
well played, sir.
Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah, or if it makes him ask.
These will choke a guy out, as you can tell.
You're getting a little verklempt. You're getting a little excited. But if it makes him ask, what the cologne is.
Well played, sir. Well played, sir.
Okay. If it makes him ask what the cologne is, then it was effective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they do. And I do get that at times. Wow, what is that cologne? And it's not necessarily like Creed, which comes in at about $400 a bottle. Okay, It's not. It could be It can be a Mojo, like Club de Nuit or something. Intense Man. It's $40 a bottle, and waitresses are going, "Oh my God, what? Who is what? How does that? Why
who is that mask? Who is that mask?
I get off in about 10 minutes. I was supposed to get off at 9 tonight.
Who is that jacketed woman?
Yeah, who said that? Who said that? So,
Dennis. Speaking of anticipation,
yes,
that was such a good one. I'm anticipating what possibly could be number 5.
Oh, well, I'll tell you. I'm going to rush you right into number 5. I am. I'm
dying to know what number 5 is.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now this one, you gotta have a little bit of imagination to it, because this is going to be something that you're going to have to rely on your feelings and your interpretations of things in moments. Like the precious moment. What does it feel like? Okay. So I love it when you do what?
Oh,
you fill in the blank. You fill in the blank on that.
This is a good one.
And so that could be a behavior. It could be an action. It could be a movement, or it could be a sound, or it could be when you say something, but you're stopping time in a sense, I think, when you say to them, I just love it when because now they're thinking everything is stopping in their head.
I'm thinking back to things that have been said that I've heard, right? So you're right. When you stop time, it could be, I love the way you walk. You walk like a cowboy or John Wayne. I love the way you talk. I love how you whisper, kind of quietly to me. It could be any of those things, but it's a compliment.
I love when you do your Johnny
compliment.
Cash. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
So what you're saying, it's a compliment on a behavior or a movement. It's something kind of unique to them.
Some kind of an action, something you did.
I love when you give a full smile because it brings those dimples out.
Yeah.
I love when you crinkle. I love when you do this. It makes your nose crinkle. They're all things that are trademarks, and you're saying you like that trademark. I like that. Very powerful.
I think what, and maybe how something or why something like that works is because you're taking a moment, you're freezing a moment, and you're making them stop in their tracks because now they want to know, my God, what do I do that I maybe don't know about that really turns people on? Holy cow, what is it? And then you tell them.
It could be how they flip their hair. I remember one of my early loves. She would turn and flip her hair, and it was like everything went into slow mo.
There you go.
Everything slowed time down.
Everybody start talking like Clutch Margot.
Yeah.
I know. I get that when I do my pompadour. When I do the pompadour thing, and she rolls back on me.
Okay. Just now that didn't do anything for me. Just
all right. Well, then it's good because I think
French
your co-host Ace would be in jeopardy.
Right.
Okay.
But when I'm thinking back to my example, it did make time stop. I agree with you.
Okay.
Flip her hair.
I get that. I get that.
Okay. Powerful stuff.
And I think one of the best things that you can do with a compliment is link it to a specific behavior. A guy has something that a guy does, as you're just saying. I think that's when you can lock it in on something, and then maybe when they do it again, you just smile at them.
Bam.
And they go, "What are you smiling about? You remember
bell
when I
just
told
rang.
you about that ding?
Yeah.
Jimmy,
Ding, ding,
when
ding,
I
ding,
told
ding,
you
ding.
about
Right.
that ding,
Yeah.
So you just bring it back to them.
That thing you
know.
do. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
there you go.
So,
Good stuff.
well, so I think
That's a good
those
list.
those are a handful of some of the best compliments I think you can give to someone, and I think compliments can open doors. They can generate feelings. They can cause the brain to want to start playing movies of, wow, I wonder what the future would look like with this person.
They could evoke, evoke narratives. They could build trust. They could make someone lower their guard and then reveal their truth. We talked about their small inner child. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it just might want to make you kiss them, or maybe make you hug them and kiss them, or maybe make you want to see them again real soon. As opposed to, there's another one, bites the dust, Okay, director, who's next? Who we got on 86? Or 72, who's on 72? So, but
who's in the bullpen? You don't want to be looking over who's in the bullpen. We want to focus on
any
who's
reliefs in the
now.
bullpen there. Yeah. So, but I
Good
think
stuff.
something else that we have to do is, you got to make sure that your compliments are resemble spontaneity. Okay, not that they're fabricated and you had that plan.
There's nothing.
And it's
Dennis,
a
thank
standard
you.
one that you give to everyone.
The hallmark of this show is no BS, and thank you for bringing that up again, because there's nothing worse than some canned Leisure Suit Larry slime ball line. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about real stuff, and we're talking about complimenting the lady or the lady complimenting the man, not some goofy, canned, fake turn-off thing. So I really like what you said there. Yep.
Well, good. I think it, and again, going through my notes, I want to make sure that I remember these. I don't want to keep a little cue card with a laminated cue card. But
you don't want to be like a quarterback with the plays written on your arm,
right around the forearm, and then you can't get your punt undone on your shirt and your cuff.
Wait, you look very nice today.
Yeah.
No, that would be bad.
Can you just stay here a moment? I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I got to check.
You're in there ripping the button open, trying to get your sleeve open to read it. Yeah. So, but I think these are pieces again. And in our previous show we did cover the profile and setting up a profile, and so I think that we've covered a pretty good hunk of information for people that are interested.
And we got a lot of really great stuff coming. So if you got anything out of the show today, tune in again. We got more stuff coming. That's really powerful stuff.
I just sometimes I get a little overwhelmed because I look at the notes and my notes and things that you've talked about and that we've written down, and the amount of subject matter it isn't just cut and dry like 20 different things and bang, you're there. You're in a relationship that will take you right into eternity. There is so much psychology and so much body language and there's a lot to learn. So whoever said love was easy, or that something that I always lead with is love is not enough, and whoever said that love is enough, wow, stay away from that person, because they don't know their blank from a blank,
Yeah.
But thank you, Steve. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Absolutely. Look forward to having you back again.
Love bites. I don't know if you can see it.
Again, you guys out there, I don't know. That one looks like
it's healing up.
That may have come from someone on the dark side. I don't know. That's
it's healing nicely.
We'll check those puncture marks on the next show, and see how they're doing.
All right.
But
thank you for having me. We'll see you. We'll see you all next time.
You're welcome, and we look forward
to
seeing
those questions and ideas coming.
Yeah, and please subscribe. You got our number. Give us a phone call. Whatever it takes. But I think just to say thank you, we're just going to do this for you, for all of us.
Yep.
Okay. A little tacky, but somebody's got to do it.
No,
Right?
that's good. That's
Okay.
good.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you soon.